finisher he's become.
Lane, Oladipo. Oh! That's right. You better mean mug after you dunk on somebody that way.
Gonna run it down. He goes with it. Adebayo for the win.
Yep. Welcome to the fucking post-game show. I'm your host, Royal H. Shepard, joined by Jonathan Ramakai, Gadiel Cartagena. Woohoo. We want to thank the primary sponsor of the 5 Reasons Sports post-game show, and that's Air Aggressive Insurance. I'm aggressively moving through this goddamn show. If you have any insurance needs, please give her a call, 954-581-8800. It's a very pleasant sponsor, so she kind of makes me happy, which means I don't want to see her for too long. But if you have any insurance needs, please call Miss Lynette. Visit our website at www.insurancebyLynette.com. Mention 5 Reasons. You get a free vacation voucher. Take that shit off the screen, Jonathan Ramakai, please. Motherfuck this game, bro. Like, I don't know what I just watched, to be honest with you. First quarter, shit. But they kind of made up for it towards the end of it. It started off like shit. Then they made up for it. Second quarter, fucking phenomenal. Second half, oh my God. Kachi Chisholm, fuck you and your 199 don't know. He said, OMG, they lost. Shut the fuck up. I hate you. Huh. Fuck, Gad, your turn.
Blow it up. Extend the trade deadline, NBA. Adam Silver, make the call. I will make the call. I'm gonna leave Adam Silver a stern voicemail tonight. Let him know that we need to blow it up so we can trade everybody except Tyler Hero, because that's pretty much what this game felt like. Like in the first half, you had the three-headed monster, right? You had Kyle, you had Bam, you had Hero, you had Strus, who was even hitting threes. I think he hit 4 threes or 3 threes in the first half, whatever it may be. And then in the second half, the Wolves came out and literally their defensive approach was, okay, as soon as Tyler comes in, we'll limit Tyler. And nobody else stepped up. Not a single person else stepped up. Like, they were sending sometimes 3 people off the screen. Like, they were sending 3 people at the action that Tyler was getting involved in, and not a single person would step up. And it's just really frustrating to see that happen from a team that is so deep. Like, Gabe had a really bad game. Duncan had good playmaking moments, but ultimately he didn't have really a great game. PJ has just really been a nothing offensively, which is like kind of what we expected going into the year, but you don't like to see it after seeing what we saw earlier. Bam just, I mean, it was a disappearing act. That was really frustrating to me. Lowry just not really giving you anything offensive.
You look at that stat line, you think Bam did some damage tonight.
He dominated for 16 minutes of this game, and he really should have been able to do more. Like, there was moments where Cat was not on the floor. There was moments where it was against Naz Reid, and you just couldn't get it done. Like, there was moments I felt like we were deferring to Markieff Morris, who, God bless his soul, he tried his hardest in his first game back, but even he didn't play a great game. And then we don't even need to talk about Dwayne Dedmon, because we pretty much, it was the same thing as last night. You're looking at a 7-foot Chris Silva right now. But that's really where we're at. Frustrating loss. Is it the end of the world? No, given the context that Milwaukee lost, but like, damn, you want to see them win this game. This is a very beatable game. You had, like a 15-point lead. You were scorched earth from 3, and then no one wants to take a shot. No one wants to go in the paint. No one wants to take advantage of a really bad defense. So it's frustrating. It is what it is. They just need to bounce back next week. But this was a really disappointing loss, in my opinion.
You got no other offense except for from like Hero and Strus for pockets of this game, and that shit was like, it's like, look, they can only do so much. Ramakan, you called the loss on the pregame show, and I told you that you were gutless. Turns out that you were right. What did you see down the stretch of this game that kind of helped piss you off? Because I know like the rest of it was pretty frustrating, but down the stretch of the game, it seemed like it was getting worse as the game went on.
Yeah, before we get to that, I do want to thank, we had a couple donos real quick. So I do want to thank SRT Dre for the 199 dono. Said when Tyler brings up the ball, the offense freezes. I don't think so. It's just like what we saw tonight with the trapping. You know what I mean? Especially late down the game, Hero was just cooking. So it just showed like when Minnesota was sending 2 to 3 guys to him, like Gad said, somebody else has to hit the shot. Like Hero can't be the only guy going 1-on-3, 1-on-2, trying to just play, hero ball, for lack of better terms. But yeah, thank you, SRT Dre. Thanks, John Mullen. He said Duncan finally showed up. 1 for 6 for $90 million. His contract a real thing? It is a real thing. You go look it up.
You missed Kachi Chisholm with the 199 dono. He said, "I love you, Royal A. Shepherd," and it's because I told him fuck him and his dono. I don't give a damn.
I purposely ignored him.
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Thanks, James Todd. I don't know if y'all caught it, but towards the end of the game, Bad had a wide open mid-range and off make a roll. Didn't even look at the basket. Pissed me off that it didn't look. And that'll actually take me to my point. That was probably one of the worst things. When I think it was like less than a minute to go, James, the play that you were talking about, I heard somebody yell, probably Kyle, but he was like, "Bam, Bam!" Like Bam had the shot. We were down, I believe, 3 or 4 with a minute to go, and he had the opportunity to just cut it down to a 1-possession game, and that's what we didn't end up doing. We talked about the late game execution, and it seemed like once Minnesota was trapping Tyler Hero, we had no answer from there. And when I started watching the game, it was late in the third quarter. I was a little busy watching Song Yadong knock out Marlon Marias, but it was a little bit late in the third quarter, and they started to go in a little bit back and forth. The first thing I saw was Kyle Lowry hit a 3, and then Beasley come back and knock a 3, and that's what you saw for the rest of the game was both teams just going back and forth, but Minnesota just seemed to have a little more legs under it, and it seems like the off-ball movement of Minnesota and the intention of which they were playing was just much more there. You saw they were hunting the mismatches, they were having guys move around, and I feel like the Heat weren't doing that quite as much when it came to that fourth quarter. I mean, it's the second night of the back-to-back. As Ari Latias famously quote, this team is a high-effort team, so when they don't have the legs under them and they can't run around side to side, they just don't have the talent to go and just get the win outright, especially with no Jimmy Butler. So, yeah, it was a frustrating game, but like I said, I called a loss, so I wasn't really setting too high expectations anyways. But yeah, it was a good game.
We led by 17 points.
Thank you. Without Jimmy Butler, bro, like I don't give a damn what no. Fuck you again, Kachi Chisholm, for your $4.99 dono. He said, "I really only came here to talk shit to Kendall and Threat, but they are here. But I also said I love you to Royal," and he didn't respond. I did respond.
Free money.
Go away. I love you too, Kachi Chisholm. You're actually a really great person. Sometimes when you're not being annoying. Damn, he fucked me up a little bit. This game was also just like one big fuck up after another, bro. Like Kyle Lowry, I guess that's where I'm gonna go ahead and turn my attention to. He started the game off looking like he was going to be aggressive. And I think Jonathan mentioned like he was yelling at Bam to shoot the ball. Somebody should have been yelling at his ass to shoot the ball. I think he passed up like 2-3.
Let's look in the mirror a little bit, right? Like,
yeah. Let's start with self first. Because boy actually gave up a couple of great looks to be his ball mover self. It's becoming annoying, Gadiel Cartagena.
Absolutely.
It's not just a problem. It's becoming annoying, and it's starting to cripple offense at points in this game. But did Kyle Lowry do anything that impressed you, or were you kind of bleh on his game too?
It was bleh. Like, listen, I'm not going to be over the moon because you had 10 points in the first half. Like, without one of the star players of this team out, I almost expect this from him, which maybe sounds a little weird because he's giving us, 3.5 points a game over the last 3, which he's coming back from whatever issues and it may be. But, like, if you're going to be playing basketball, you should be playing basketball the right way. And if you're playing basketball the right way, it means making the right play. And sometimes making the right play isn't passing the ball to a contested Tyler Hero and Max Strus or Duncan Robinson. It's taking the damn shot yourself. And there was multiple moments in that second half where Kyle Lowry had an open look from the top of the key. Just, okay, who else can I give the ball to? So you have Bam, who doesn't want to shoot in the second half. You have Kyle, who doesn't want to shoot in the second half. You have Duncan and Gabe, who can't make a shot in the second half. And you have PJ, who is 40 minutes past his quota of what he should have been playing tonight, and he just cannot knock down a single shot from more than 2 feet away. And then we also have
Bam Adebayo, a.k.a. David Blaine.
Oh my gosh. Like it was really frustrating to watch. And I know yesterday we were talking about, you got to get Gabe in the game, whatever it may be. He was trash tonight too. So it was a bad game all the way around. And then you got David Blaine in there. It was frustrating to see Kyle deferring and just not being able to make shots in a game like this where he should. We just need more. That is really simple. We just need more. You can't have this.
No, I think there's a lot of shit that you can pile on to everybody on this game. I think if you want to get highlights from this game, then you have to turn to the two white boys, Tyler Hero and Max Strus. I don't know if the fact that they're white matters in this context, but they played well. They shot the ball well. Look, I was very pleased with Tyler Hero.
Dos leches.
Yeah, Dos leches. Let me get the jersey so that people won't find me. I have no idea why we putting that shit at. Yeah, but talk about. Oh, did I let you talk about Kyle Lowry? No, I didn't. Go ahead. Talk. Is Kyle Lowry's play troubling to you, Jonathan Rumacon?
Yeah, it's a little bit troubling because I want to see him be just more aggressive on the scoring side. Like, as I was taking notes for the third and fourth quarter, he was making phenomenal pick and roll plays. I mean, the passes he was getting to Bam just on the roll with a lot of momentum going towards the rim were great. He was finding Markieff Morris for that middle open mid-range jumper as well. So we know his passing is great. Like, this dude has damn near probably like 5 or 6 quarters where he has like 8 or 9 assists just in that quarter. So we know he can move the rock, but like, God damn it, Kyle, fucking shoot. Like, for real, like, we need him to just be at least that a mini Jimmy Butler placeholder, right? He needs to go from being quarterback to running back. He needs to be like Lamar Jackson, be a dual threat, right? He needs to start attacking the rim a little bit more. And when Jimmy's not there, he needs to be the one that puts his head down and gets to the rim. Because if, Tyler Hero, his touch around the rim has gotten phenomenal, and his lift is really well too. But we know that Kyle Lowry has a little more finesse down there and is able to draw a little more contact. He needs to be doing that because we need that clock to stop. We need the pace to be controlled, and we can't let it get wild. We saw when defensively after we missed shots, the matchups weren't great. They were getting a lot of good looks, and even if they didn't get the right shot to go in, they would get an offensive rebound just because of our mismatches down low. So Kyle needs to shoot a little bit more. He needs to be more aggressive. He needs to be our running back when Jimmy's not here, and we just didn't see that tonight. As I do want to thank Keith Jackson for the $10 donation. He said this game was on Bam. He was eating the T-Wolves alive in the first half, but then he decided not to show up in the second. So frustrating. I didn't see this the first half. Like I said, watching the UFC. So, yeah, I didn't see him. He was disappeared. This was Bam Adebayo all night long because I saw him last night go pretty hard. But, yeah, tonight, no.
So legit questions. I've seen fans mad and then happy with Jimmy. Could y'all help me out with what's going on? Jimmy Butler plays well sometimes. He doesn't play well other times, but when he doesn't play, you realize how much you miss him playing. Because even when he's not playing well offensively, he does like other shit on the defensive side of the ball to help us win games. But it's frustrating watching Jimmy Butler play sometimes because of the way that he has to be effective. Like, it's irritating more so than anything else. Yeah, let's talk about some good shit, bro. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, this game overall is sickening, but I want to talk about some good shit. So the boy Tyler Hero, again, kind of carried this team offensively when we didn't have shit going. At what point does the burden become too much for him? Like, it's like talk about his ascension, but like I don't think that really matters if nobody else ain't gonna be there for him. But he did find a way to be effective when the defense was keying on him. Gad, I want you to kind of get into that a little bit.
Yeah, no, Tyler Hero, like, it's impressive night in and night out to the point where I'm not really all that impressed because, like, I almost expect it. Like, I wasn't surprised at all about anything Tyler Hero was doing tonight, which just speaks volume to how good he is. And he had 30. It really felt like he should have had 40 because it felt like he missed, like, 5 layups tonight. He was getting to his spots. He was getting to where he wanted to be and just ultimately couldn't finish on some of those layups, which is frustrating because they probably win the game if that happens. But in no way, shape, or form am I blaming Tyler Hero for this. He was the man, one of 2 people that was keeping the Heat alive in the second half of this game. And he was taking on, like, these are valuable reps for him, taking on doubles, taking on blitzing pick and rolls, taking on a big playing at the level, and having to beat a weak side rotation. I like the way that Tyler Hero played tonight. I thought he competed really well defensively as well. Ultimately just didn't have enough help, which is crazy that we're at this point in the season where Tyler Hero is the one that needs help on the floor. It's not the other way around. It's not Bam. It's not Kyle. It's Tyler that needs help right now. So I'm impressed with the way Tyler's been able to show up night in, night out. He's been ridiculously inconsistent, and we need that. Like, we could just sing his praises all day on this post-game show because what he's done over the last 10 games or so since coming back from injury, he's playing really, really well. This team should have won this game, and Tyler Hero is a big reason why they are in position to do that.
Yeah, Ramcon, I don't know if you were part of this discussion, but I mean, other than that, I told my agenda on Tyler Hero is fucking dead. Like it's toast, it's cooked. The brand is in the shitter, Jonathan Ramcon. So at this point, we're trying to figure out what's Tyler's level of importance to this team in the playoffs. Like when we get to the playoffs, how important is Tyler Hero to our success at that point? I mean, based off of what he's doing now.
Yeah, I think he's crucial because if we don't have Tyler Hero, the ball, first of all, the spacing is going to be off. Because when we talk about that closing lineup, he's easily the best 3-point shooter out of all those players at volume, right? If you're talking about it being Hero, Kyle, Jimmy, Bam, and PJ as the closing lineup, or I'm not sure if you guys have any other ideas or what we should do with that. But if that's our
Start him.
closing lineup, I'm sorry?
Start him.
There you go. But I mean, closing
Hell
the game
yeah.
matters more. But when it comes to those
Both.
closing, those last 5 minutes, he has to be there because without him, the floor isn't going to be stretched. We see that he's starting to. He has that mid-range jumper, not starting to, but he has that mid-range jumper, and he's getting to the rim at a lot more efficiency right now, and able to get some free throws. I think Gad posted the stat about Miami having a bunch of free throws in the first half without Jimmy Butler tonight. We need to see a little bit more of that, but that's a big part of his growth this year is that he's getting to the free throw line just a little more often. And in the playoffs, when the game is a little slower and he has to focus on Jimmy Butler, defenders have to focus on Kyle Lowry, Bam Adebayo if he wants to be aggressive. Tyler's going to fit in perfectly with those guys because he's just going to be the perfect guy to slide in between all of them. And he fills in that just hole perfectly because you have Jimmy who's going to dominate the inside. You have Bam who's going to dominate the inside when he's aggressive. And you have Kyle Lowry who's more going to just shoot the three, but it just kind of help facilitate everything else as well. But I think Hero is just super essential to it because without him, we just are not going to have that extra scoring pop against those superstar teams that have 2-3 star players.
Yeah, that boy Ariel Latia is probably rolling over in his grave that I just said start Tyler Hero. Because that man was saying that shit earlier in the year, and I called him a fucking buffoon. Thank you, John Mullen, for the $4.99. Don't know. He said, once again, I'm done with Bell. There's no ceiling. Stop pushing the narrative 5RSN. Don't come over here with that bullshit. You come in on the floor is yours, 5 on the Floor podcast, and Greg Sylvander himself. That's who you talk to about that. We do not call Bam that shit. We call him Idris Femi Adebayo over here. Thank you, Sup, for the 99 cents. Don't know. I know you're going to have something to say later on with your aggravating ass. Yeah. Let's talk about this. I think that's somebody said crunch time offense, Mac for a better tomorrow. Yeah. The crunch time offense again was shit.
I don't even know what the offense was in crunch time. It was let's hunt Max Strus off of 19 pin downs. It was the same thing they do to start the game, but with Strus in the game instead of Duncan. And Strus hit like one shot, so it worked out.
What
I
else
saw
were they
Gabe
going to do
Vincent,
yet?
I didn't not at the end of the game, but I saw Gabe Vincent isolation at the end of the third quarter. Like, god damn, that's not good offense. I don't want to. I love Gabe Vincent
Horrible.
to death, man, but I
Horrible.
don't want to see him in an isolation situation.
Wait, you talking
Sorry,
about
bro,
when he got cat switched on him?
No, it was just like I said, third quarter. I'm pretty sure Keith was on the floor. I think Dedmon was on the floor with him. It was to close that third, and it was just isolation. Nobody was moving, right? Dedmon wasn't moving. Keith wasn't moving, and he just
He
isolated.
definitely was on the floor because he got a 3-pointer shot right in his goddamn face at the buzzer of the third quarter.
After
Oh
traveling.
no, that was a really bad play.
That was horrible. It was a 3-point. It was like a 5-point swing because we had 2 seconds to go. He traveled first of all to give up the ball, and then he didn't even close out on a full court pass. Like what, dude? If you're gonna do something, at least do the other thing to try to make it up. Don't do fucking both. God.
Thank you, SRT Dre, for the $1.99. Don't know. He said PJ was a -25. He needs rest. Listen, brother, you preaching to the choir. We have been trumpeting that horn for the last 2 weeks. Like we need to find some pocket. And I think having Keith back tonight was a good sign that we're going to be able to get some of that. Because while Keith did not play particularly well, I do think that we saw some pockets, some areas where he could be effective and potentially help this team. Because he gives us another card to pull when Denton is playing the way he's fucking playing. Want to thank Heather Klein for the $9.99. Don't know. She said Twan said the other night when Roy was out that Tyler was great. Strus did okay. Gabe got cooked. Kyle won't shoot. And he said Caleb may be glue in the spark. Facts again tonight. Listen,
It is.
TJ is a goddamn genius. Listen to him. So is Kendall. So is Threat. You should listen to when they talk. Don't listen to how they say it. Listen to what they are saying, because most of the time they be spot on with their assessment.
Shoot
It's
it down
true,
the
it's
middle.
true.
There's no bullshit involved with anything. So
No, like they gonna cut through the fat to get right to what they fucking need to get to. But no, excuse me. I do kind of want to get to that a little bit. This is the first time that we have seen Markieff Morris in a very long goddamn time. And you know, like we had plans for him earlier on in the season. As it's moved on, I think he's going to be fighting for minutes with Caleb, and he might lose that fight. But I do think that there were places where he fit into this team. I'll start with you, Gad. If there is a place, where do you believe Morris can help us with this team?
I think another option as a small ball 5 in specific. I don't think it needs to be as a 4 in the playoffs unless you're playing against one of those bigger teams where you need to beef up and you need to sit PJ a little bit, maybe move Caleb to the backup 3, and just be longer and have more help defense, whatever it may be. But I think as a small ball 5, it makes a lot of sense. And I would like to see what the dynamic is between him and Bam, because he's really good as a passer in the short roll, and he's really good as a pick and pop option in the short roll. It's like some inverted pick and rolls maybe. Get Bam going downhill, and if he gives the ball back to Markieff, that could be some offense that you can try to get to right there. In addition to him playing with Kyle, Tyler, maybe Victor, Caleb, whoever it may be. I like him in that situation. I don't like him as a floor spacing 4 because, 1, he's just not that good of a shooter, and 2, I think a lot of times when he's guarding 4s, he's going to get beat off the dribble sometimes. He's going to be slow off his rotations because he's just not that quick. I think if you put him as the 4/5 next to Bam, then that's a dynamic that I think could actually really work. Play a little bit faster. I think that's where I want to see him. You saw some of it tonight in the mid-range. He can kind of be an option there. And the passing was obviously off tonight. He had 4 turnovers, some really stupid turnovers, some traveling. That's kind of getting back into the game. I'm not going to fault him too much for that. But I think he can help. He needs to play in a faster lineup, which is weird because he's not a particularly fast player. But I don't want to see him in a lineup with like Dedmon and Jimmy. I just don't think that would be all that pretty.
Neither do I. Jonathan, do you see it? Do you think there are any spots that you saw that he can help us in?
yeah, for sure. I mean, first of all, like somebody already said, PJ needs some rest. So especially coming down to the latter part of this season, he's going to need to just take a little more of those minutes. Just allow him to take a little more of the back seat. Not only PJ, Caleb Martin has been hurt as well, but offensively on the court, I mean, Gad hit it on the head. Just that mid-range jumper, that small pick and pop. We saw it work 2 times in a row in that fourth quarter with Kyle Lowry. It can work. It just can. All you need. This is a possession-by-possession game, obviously, right? We just needed to work 3 to 4 possessions to start opening things up for other players. Because once they start having to respect his shot, okay, now the defense is drawn to him a little bit more. He's a 4, so you're bringing a big man out of the paint. Now that paint's open a little bit more, maybe for a Caleb Martin slam or something like that. So I think it's a great option to have him there. I think defensively, we're going to have to hide him a little bit, right? He's not the greatest defender, but I feel like
Bam can hide him.
Yeah, Bam can hide everything.
Have a bunch
Exactly.
Caleb can hide him, right? Caleb does a really good. Like we have a couple players that we can put around him that'll make it really easy for him to be a good drop big, right? Because Caleb will fight over screens, Gabe will fight over screens. You know, if you have Jimmy on the ball and he's playing with him, Jimmy will fight over screens. So I think we'll be good. I think with him, he'll bring that perfect backup 4. I think that veteran leadership is something that we missed a little bit in that spot as well. Don't get me wrong, Dedmon is good, but he's not as consistent. But I think he's gonna fit in pretty well with us.
No, I'm glad you brought up Dedmon because that's where I wanted to go next. Are we thinking about Markieff? Are we thinking about Markieff as a small ball 5 as a replacement for Dedmon, or are we thinking about it as like kind of like a, you know, something off ball like Spo might try and do? Which one of you guys looking at that? Gad, you the one who's more excited about the question, so let's start with you.
Well, no, I was just excited to talk about Dedmon because it's been really, really bad what we've seen on the floor over the last few games. Like there is we said it yesterday, but there's a stark drop off when it's Bam on the floor as opposed to anybody else. And even in the second half when Bam was not on the floor, it was ugly. But I think it's more of an option. I think against, let's say, Philly, you don't want Markieff on Joel. You'd rather have Dedmon on him. But against other teams, let's say like Brooklyn, you're cool with Markieff maybe having to guard like a Ben Simmons and just sagging off and kind of just defending the dunker spot a little bit, playing around the rim more. Not to block shots, but maybe to deter someone because he still is like a 245-pound forward. So
just
like
get it away.
he can just try to be a body that's in the middle of the
Get
paint
in
that
the
he
way.
can get charged
Get in
into.
the way.
Yeah, like that's all you need. So yeah, I think just as an option, I don't think it's going to be replacing Dedmon. You do need to see Dedmon play better because if this continues over the next 12 to 13 games, whatever it may be, then you have a legitimate problem. I don't think it'll be this bad. Hopefully, these are
We'll be
Dedmon's
in the
worst
playoffs
performances.
then. We'll be in the playoffs then.
Exactly. So like for the rest of the season, if it's this bad from Dedmon, then sure you can have a conversation. I know Adam has been saying that PJ is probably gonna be the small ball 5. I wouldn't mind that at all. If you're gonna run Bam 38, 40 minutes a game in the playoffs, there's no back-to-backs, thank the Lord. So maybe you can get away with doing something like that. But yeah, just another option. I think it's a good player to have in the fold, and he didn't look like out of it today. There was some rust and whatever it may be, but he looked like a functional NBA player.
Yeah.
Markeith. Not
yeah, Jonathan, we'll throw this question to you after these donos. Thank you, Sup, for the 199 dono. He said Lowry big booty self need to shoot more like Royal. Sup, why are you talking about this man's gluteus maximus, bro? You could have just stopped that Lowry, bro. Katya Chisholm, thank you for the 499 dono. He said y'all enjoy Royal while you have him because he's about to sign a max deal with the Dolphins as an offensive tackle on Monday. Telling you, get Jesse Davis the fuck up out of here. I'm about to take that boy's spot. Fuck is they 10 minutes. Jonathan, I'm gonna throw it to you, bro. Is the Markeith thing a replacement for Dedmon, or is it just like another option for Spo to use after he tries Dedmon?
I think it's another option because Dedmon brings something just a little more different, right? He's that rim protector. He's a little bit more finisher around the rim, and he's, I would say he's a little more like he has a little more dog in him, right? He kind of barks a little bit more.
He fouls people.
Barks
Right,
more than
he
Dedmon.
fouls people a little harder, right? He tends to move on his screens. He tends to use his hips a little bit more. But I think he just has a little bit better of an edge to him as far as protecting the paint. I think it's a good another option, though, because you have somebody who is a pretty decent mid-range shooter in Morris, and then now you have somebody, and he's not consistent with it, but Ded can step out and hit the three. So you have a couple of different options with different things you could do depending on who you're playing. So, I think it's just an option thing.
Fuck that. I actually want him to take Dedmon's minutes, bro. I've seen it
For like a week. Like give him some PTO, whatever it may be, because like it is bad basketball. Like Naz Reid was having a field day, and it seems like he always does against the Heat. But you think Dedmon can mitigate that? Like there was the most frustrating play to me. And I don't know if I don't know when this was. It was third quarter maybe. So maybe both of you guys might have seen it, but it was. They take some shot. We play good defense. They take some shot. And Dedmon's boxing out Naz Reid. Like, he moves him to the position where he needs to move him to. And he just does not go up for the rebound at all. He stays in box-out position, doesn't go for the board. Naz Reid catches the ball, takes one dribble as Dedmon's turning around, and just gets a layup. It's so frustrating because it seems like he's literally, like, he's glitching. He's glitching out.
Yeah, somebody said something that's pretty spot on, too, about the Heat. It's something that they take after their leader, Jimmy Butler. They are missing a lot of buddies.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know if this is a normal thing. I don't know where do the Heat rank? You guys are probably better than this than I am. Where do the Heat rank in terms of, like, finishing in the paint?
I don't think they're that bad, if I'm being completely honest with you. I can check. Give me, like, 5 minutes. I'll get back to you on that.
Okay, great. Because that to me is a problem. Like, Tyler Hero, I forgot who said it, but somebody said Tyler Hero could have had 40 points tonight. And I'm 100% with that. Yeah, he could have had 40 points if he didn't miss that little floater scoop hook. I don't know what the fuck to call it, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
The left hand, it was at the end of the game, right?
Yeah, that little
So
shit.
close, too. Hey,
like,
halfway down. Halfway down.
Halfway don't get you nowhere, bro. Like, but that shit
Hurts. It hurts.
It do start to. But what's the most worrisome thing? Like, I'm gonna wrap this up pretty soon, but what's kind of like the most worrisome trend that you're starting to see from Miami over the course of? I think they've lost 2 out of 3. I'm not to say that I'm worried about where Miami is in the standings or their chances in the playoffs or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, right now, as it currently stands, we're on a little bit of a downslide. What's most worrisome about that? Is it playoff seeding? Is it the way we're playing, the way we're not closing games, anything of that nature? What worries you the most, Jonathan? We'll start with you.
It's just the consistent offensive production. Like, we don't have it all the time. Everything has to kind of be running at almost at 100% for everything to work right, just because we're higher for team. Players have to keep moving off the ball. And if we work very hard for a shot and we don't hit that shot, it seems to demoralize the team. and it seems to kind of have like a snowball effect, especially working its way down the games. We're a very emotional team, and it shows by the types of quarters we have. We won't have lulls of just 3 or 4 minutes. We'll have lulls of 7 or 8 minutes, and that's something that I've been noticing throughout the season. Is we have just very big dry spells, and when you have a tough shot maker in Tyler Hero and Jimmy Butler, as a tough bucket getter, it's different because if he doesn't get those fouls drawn and he doesn't get those calls, okay, those shots look like bad shots. And then we're in a bad position because we're taking just bad shot after bad shot. Tyler Hero, let's say he has someone that's a little bit better defensively. He takes those tougher shots. And granted, we see tonight, he can make those tough shots, but they're not high percentage looks per se. And you don't want those to be the shots you're relying on. You want to rely more on high percentage looks. And I just feel like offensively, we're not producing those we're not hitting those shots consistently. I feel like we do a good job producing those looks. Coach Bo draws up those plays really well. But when we're not moving off ball and when, things just get stagnant, it's a really tough team. It's really not a great offensive team, and that's my biggest worry.
Yeah, Gad, what's been the biggest thing that's kind of got you like worried about the way they've been playing recently?
I've been pretty consistent with this. I think what's happening recently isn't too worrisome for me in terms of like the reasons why they're losing games. I think just throughout the entire season, what's worried me is the fact that both Jimmy and Bam are one-level scorers right now. And we all project an increase in minutes for these guys in the playoffs, but they are one-level scorers. And then Kyle Lowry, I think he'll give you enough offensively, although he's not showing it now come playoff time. I'm confident in that. But Jimmy and Bam, if they can't score from further than like 8 feet, this team is too easy to defend. That's my problem. Like that boils down to clutch minutes too. It boils down to like whenever you're playing these guys together, which is probably going to be north of 20 minutes a game at least. It's going to be really, really tough for them to get that going because it's not one player, it's two. Yes, Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo are not.
Don't you
Shaq.
fucking
that's the
dare.
difference here. Like,
Use one of them 1,000 eyes to be able to see what the fuck you're talking about here, son. You're talking about a 7'2", fucking 300-pound monster versus. Shut up. I'm sorry.
Like, no, absolutely. I just think like it's not the end of the world if they can't make those shots, but part of the reason why they got so far when they made it to the bubble is teams were defending them on the 3-point line and in the paint. And Jimmy and Bam were surgical for mid-range. Absolutely surgical. They're not doing that right now. It's a really, really big issue because you need those two things to work for those two to click together, and you need those two to click together to play your best basketball in the biggest moments of the year. That's my only question. Like, if they can answer that question, I think this team is in good shape come playoff time. I think they have the shooting, they have the defense, they have the role players, they have the coaching, they have the depth, all the stuff that you need, right? The recipes for a team, but you need your stars to not only play well individually, you need them to play well and thrive together. And we've seen moments of that, but a lot of that comes with both of them getting to the rim. Good teams will keep both of them from getting to the rim. Good teams will force them to take shots that they're not comfortable with. That's my issue right now. If they can fix that up, very confident, but they haven't done it yet. Only like 16 games in the year. All right, not less than 16 actually. I think it's like 13.
Got 13
yeah. But I think they'll be okay. Like, I'm not too worried. It's just I need to see that. They've turned it on before. I need to see it before the playoffs in order to have like the utmost belief. But I still think this team is in fantastic shape. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
They're a really good team. It's just that is a big flaw for me.
I think for the most part, like it's pretty easy to picture this team in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like it's
absolutely.
It's pretty easy to do that. I think for me, the one issue that I'm going to continuously have is from night to night, I don't know what Bam Adebayo I'm going to see. Like in that, like that's been something that we've been dealing with for years. So it's kind of like a pretty generic answer. But at moments this year, we've seen the Bam Adebayo that we've always thought was in there, and that guy is the one who, you know what I mean? If we get him, then all of the points that we've made are mute. Like there is no bogging down of the offense. There's no problem with him and Jimmy occupying the same space on the court because he's going to do more than enough to produce offensively to help generate offense. But on nights like tonight where you see part of it and then he just goes into a shell again, then we're going to find ourselves running into trouble against some of the better teams in the league. And so Bam to me has always been and will always be the key to what the ceiling of the Miami Heat are. Like I don't deal with the no ceiling thing, but like I do believe that he has like unlimited potential. I do believe in the actual core of what it is, but if he doesn't play up to it, then it's going to be really difficult for us to reach what we're trying to reach to. Thank you, Heather Klein, for the $9.99. Don't know. I'm sorry, I took $5 off of your name, Gary. He said most worrisome is that a lot of games were won on the backs of lineups without. Huh?
You said Heather Klein.
Yeah.
You said he.
Oh, she.
It's 2022.
Hey, listen, bro. I don't know. I am not assuming anybody's gender, race, creed, none of that shit. Thank you, Heather Klein, for the $9.99. Don't know. Most worrisome is that a lot of games were won on the backs of lineups without the starting five you expect, but we expect to pull through playoffs with those five. That's a really good point.
That's what we've been saying.
That's a bar.
The data was incomplete. You didn't see the full picture. And people got really, really excited. I'm not saying that they were wrong, but people got really, really excited. Oh, we beat the Suns by 23. Well, that's a different offense you're going to be playing in the playoffs. You're not going to be jacking up 45 threes in the playoffs.
Was a bunch of one-game sample size. Games. There's so many games this season that are just one-game sample size or 3-game sample size that are completely meaningless. And it's great in a way because we got that first seed with those small sample sizes. But when it comes to our actual playoff rotation, the actual lineups we're going to have to play, we don't have that big of a sample size. We have much more 2-3 game sample sizes with Yurtseven and, even KZ Okpala before his ass got traded, but more than we have with the actual closing lineup, which is a little concerning as well.
Yeah, that level of chemistry is also going to be concerning, but it's just a matter of what the warts of this team, the warts of the entire unit. Everybody like to say, wait till we got our whole team back. We got our whole team back, and yes, we are a better team now than we were when we were winning all those games. But the holes that this team has, those things can possibly be exploited if we don't clean some of that stuff up in these last couple of weeks. But like we said, they're the best team in the East, and I do believe that we're going to clean it up and we're going to be raring to go come playoff time. Let's get to this.
They're still a damn good team. They're still a really good team, guys. Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted. That defense is A1 always. Okay, come playoff time, I'm expecting us to be one of the top 2 or 3 defenses in the playoffs throughout the playoffs. And I'm talking about no question locking shit down. But we're going to get ourselves back on track next game, though, because we got the motherfucking Pistons coming this bitch, and we're going to get it off of 3 days rest. So we play them on the 15th. Yeah, the boy feeling good?
The boy feeling good. Listen, the Pistons have been playing really good basketball recently, so don't be surprised if this is not. Cade Cunningham
he's finding himself.
If he played like this the entire season, he not only would have been Rookie of the Year, he might as well have been an All-Star because he's playing unbelievable basketball right now. But with that said, it is a one-man show, and the Heat are really good against a one-man show. So I think they will be able to pull this out. They will be able to win. They should win by 10 plus, honestly. But I would not be surprised if it was a close game. This is a not that bad Piston team anymore. I don't care what their record is for the entire season. They've been playing well. The Heat kind of played down to the team's levels a little bit, but the Heat are a damn good basketball team. If you're the 1 seed, if you're a team that's going to be as good as we think they're going to be in the playoffs, you're going to win this game. I think it should be fine. Get some rest. This team needs some rest a little bit, which is weird to say after the All-Star break. The boys feeling good. The boys feeling confident.
Yeah, I don't think they want to have back-to-back losses to teams that would be deemed to be inferior. But just like I said, Miami plays down the competition, but the Pistons are the type of team they play up to competition because they give playoff teams hell. Okay. Heather said I gave her a bar 2 nights in a row, and yep, she's a she. 2022. I'm glad that you said that, Heather. So now I feel comfortable using that pronoun. Jonathan Ramadan, the boy feeling good.
The boy feeling good. Actually, like Miss Lynette said, we might actually have everyone active on Tuesday night. Maybe not Caleb Martin.
You mean the post-up show? I would hope so, Miss Lynette. Them hoes do not want to come to work. Jesus Christ. I ain't seen Bronny Weeks. Ricky. He in the comments, though.
As far as the Heat goes, I think we're going to see a pretty complete, Hero's going to probably play, or sorry, not Hero, Jimmy's probably going to play. We're probably going to see Oladipo because it's not the second night of a back-to-back. I mean, Morris is back for the first time. We got Morris Day and Depot Day within 10 days. So, we got both of those guys back. And it's good to see. I think the Heat is, doing good. I want to say something as well before we close this out. We talk about the holes on this team, but It's because it's a Miami Heat post-game show. Like, we're not trying to dig holes in this team. Every single team in the league has holes that we can go and we could dig at all day long. But we're a Miami Heat post-game show, and we're going to dig at the Heat's holes because that's the topic of discussion we're talking about. We're not talking about the 2 through 12 or 15 seed, even with the amount of things that were, and yeah, that's 100% facts, Dash used. But even with, everything that's going on, we're still the number 1 seed. We still got some space. The Bucks lost tonight. Somebody said that in the comments. And the next game, man, the boy feeling good. I feel like the Heat are going to come out with a lot of energy. I feel like the off-ball movement is going to be great. I think Depot probably has his best game coming back just because he has a little bit more rest and a couple of games to kind of just take that knowledge, download it, and then use it on that game. And I think the Heat are going to blow that shit out.
Ooh, can I add one point
Sure.
to what Das Hust had a fantastic comment. This is absolutely true. So one of the reasons why this is true is the Heat are vying for that 1 seed with exclusively Milwaukee. You could also say Philly and those other teams, but Milwaukee's a team that looks like a real threat for that right now, right? They tied 2-2, so the conference record could be a huge deal, and the Heat have it's like a 5-game lead in terms of conference record, but that could change quickly if they lose it. If they beat the Timberwolves tonight, but they lose to the Pistons, that would honestly be more detrimental for the Heat's case as the 1 seed. So just wanted to point that out. Like, winning Eastern Conference games down the stretch is going to be very crucial to getting that 1 seed if they do end up with the same record as the Bucks or the Sixers or whoever it may be.
Thank you, Gad, for enlightening the group, making us all a little bit smarter here. Listen, people, if you don't like the conversation that we're having, please, by all means, DM me at Royal A. Shepherd on Twitter, and I would tell you to kindly go fuck yourself. Like, I don't care. If you have a problem with what we're talking about, I'm the person who does the topics. We don't hate this team. I love this team. It's just from night to night, I have to talk about what's happening that night, how it's making me feel that night. I'm sorry that you don't like it sometimes, but I honestly don't care. Yeah, we played the Pistons. We finna blow that shit out. Fuck is you talking about? I don't give a fuck about Cade Cunningham or Jerry and Grant or Sadiq Bey. I don't care about nobody on that team. I care about what the Miami Heat are doing and the process that we are going on our road to a championship. And they just so happen to be the victim that's going to get trampled on in our next game. Because we have to bounce back from this. Like, we can't, like I said, we can't lose back-to-back games to sub-bar teams, and Gad gave you a much smarter reason as to why we shouldn't lose to the Pistons. So whichever one of those reasons you like, you can take them. Exactly. Big brain Gad.
Big brain Gad.
Big brain Gad. Listen, man. The man Jonathan Robinson, and he did that with what you have on tonight. Right now. Like, he did that.
That literally happened 30 seconds ago. That's crazy.
Listen, man.
That's crazy.
I don't know what it is that y'all be. Listen, bro. The man Jonathan Robinson is goated out.
Unreal, man. Unreal.
Man. Thank you guys in the comments as always for joining us, making the show much more fun than it would have been without you. Thank you to Gad and Jonathan for showing up to work. I'm firing the rest of them bums. We're gonna be taking applications for the Fire Reader Sports post game show. Send all that information.
Definitely not Adam.
Yes, that's who you DM.
And Ariel Latias.
And Ariel Latias, and Brian Young, and Ethan J. Skolnick, and Brady Hawk. And they all, that's the
Brady Hawk. Whoa, Brady's catching a stray?
That's the panel, bro. They got, everybody.
Oh my gosh. Shout out Brady, 10,000 followers on Twitter. That man he's
Brady
doing
got 10,000 followers on Twitter.
Can't even get to a fucking 1,000.
He's officially a triple platinum. I think that's what it's called, triple platinum influencer now. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, listen, bro. I can't talk to Brady Hawk without clearance. So I mean, I don't know how it is to live up there. That man breathes a different type of air than me, man. He's that's Heat Twitter royalty at this point, bro. Oh hell, King Brady. Play the video, Robocon.
Jimmy buckets. Clutch time.
Tyler Hero, what a finisher he's become.
Lane, Oladipo. Oh, that's right. You better mean mug after you dunk on somebody.